Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. Welcome to Waited to Win. It's great to have you on this special occasion because it's a live show here tonight, and it's fantastic to be right here in the kitchen grill, right? That's the name of the place. That's right opposite the grill house, and all sort of associated one way or the other. And we're very happy to be hosted here tonight. Thanks very much to Betway and the team for taking up our offer and inviting our guests here that are part of the whole plan. Just so that you know, on the screen at the moment, you're dining with the stars tonight. We promised that you'll be with Mike to Kock and with Khumalo and rub shoulders with the guys. And we are heading to Durban very, very soon, as you can see. They want us in Durban. A lot of the guys on the group that would like to see us and engage with us. And so we've got lots of good news and good prizes for them to be a part of as far as that. That's our number. If you haven't already got it, 069 164 3272. We've probably got about 1,000 people on there now on the WhatsApp group, which is great. And we feed the information to the group as often as we can. And it really is about transparency and sharing the information that we have access to with great prizes that come your way. There's our champion, Khumalo. He featured once upon a time, you'll notice, in a cinema where there was a special documentary on him when he became the first black jockey to win the Vodacom Durban July. It was such a special moment. And there you can see Mike de Kock at the bottom there, looking straight up at him, jumping out of the saddle with some superb memories of the past. Now, the World Sports Betting presenting the Gauteng Summer Cup this Saturday. There's a 3 million rand carryover, so they're anticipating a 12 million rand pool. It may well get to more than that, so there are quite a number of carryovers that the Tote is promoting, and we look forward to that. Just before we do that, I'm going to just quickly welcome Mark to our Waited to Win show. Mark, thanks very much for being here tonight.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Samanga, also good. Thank you to have us, to be with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And Darryl, your time also appreciated.
It's great to have Mark and Samanga on the panel. Some weight off my shoulders.
Weight off your shoulders,
Yeah.
get the pressure. Yeah, well, we'll get the winners out of them. And, of course, Daryn Burroughs, who's in Cape Town. And I think we'll start up straight up with Daryn with the first leg of the Pick Six. The screen will show the market naturally. And, Daryn, you can have a look at it, the Magnolia handicap itself. And I suppose that when people look at it, they all seem to be talking about Big Burn. What do you think? That's number 7 on the card.
Well, a lot of people are going to be playing wide in the first leg of the Pick Six, but I've actually chosen to banker Big Burn. Reason why, over a little bit further, she tends to over-race slightly and not find much of a finish. She had no right to beat Full Velocity that day. She over-raced. She pulled herself to the lead. She skipped 5 lengths clear on the field, and she held on by a neck. That was a very impressive win after all she went through. Then she followed it up with a very good win where she relaxed in running behind, beating Under Your Spell. And last time she went a bit too fast up front. I think the draw's in her favor. She's drawn towards the middle outside of the track, where her 2 dangers are drawn 3 and 4. That's Sheila and Sound of Warning. And I think she's got at least a 2-length advantage with the draw alone. So for me, Big Burn, back up the straight is going to suit. I think she'll be handy, probably leading going through the 400. And she's got an amazing turn of foot, which I think she'll put a length or 2 on this field going through the 400, and she'll be the horse to catch. So for me, Big Burn over horses like Sheila and Sound of Warning, not much separating them on form, and Full Velocity, Blinkers first time, could get her closer to the pace and running on towards the finish.
Okay, well, on that note, let me ask Samanga, because he's been part of Sheila, and he can give us some insight to her as to what you think. I mean, when I look at her and I see that you're on Tanzanite Queen, Samanga, maybe just some insight about the filly.
Yes, Clyde, obviously, she's a very, very nice and special filly. I've had the pleasure of sitting on her first time, and I was blown away the manner she won. And she did take a little bit of, how can I say, she come out a little bit sluggish, but the way that she put herself together to come and to just blow them away that last bit, it was amazing. And again, I think I rode in the Group 2 in the think it was the 1160, and again, there was a lot of pace, and I thought to myself, I want to follow something, but she came out and think that she just wanted to run, and I let her run, and she ended up beating them by a length, and she hasn't put her foot wrong. I think the traveling to Scottville was a little bit for me. I think she never enjoyed it, and coming back to show that she never enjoyed, she ran over the 1,000 with Lyle, also jumping to the front, and then they never caught her. So she's, she's special.
So she's very good.
She's special.
Why aren't you riding her, if you don't mind me asking?
Obviously, I'm stable by Ali Kled, and he asked me, please, Mister, you'd like me to ride the filly, and he thinks she's something special since her form from Cape Town is quite strong.
So, in your opinion, Big Burn's got something to worry about?
What I've raced against Big Ben. It happens where we're so lucky, us as jockeys, where we get to see these animals gallop next to you, and that's why you can also know how good they are. But the last run, I was a little bit disappointed. But also the track was a little bit wet, so it's raining again this time around. So we're just gonna wait and see. But I think Sheila, she's a big runner.
Mark, just to bring you in, if I may, being a widespread field, the draw, some would say, is always a concern, because if you're not drawn up the outside, perhaps your chances are halved. Do you still believe in that, or is that still a myth?
More for me when it rains at Turfentine. I believe that it favours the outside. Definitely, I think it's possibly because of the way it drains, but I'm inclined to say there's a slight bias, especially with wet weather.
Okay, so based on that, I mean, when you look at Big Burn, I mean, if you looked at the race between, have you summarised it to come down to a couple?
Yeah.
I mean, what's your
look, there's a lot of up and coming, nice young fillies, but you've got to look at the weights and have a look at a few of the older fillies. It's definitely going to be sticky.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. This is very early in the year for young fillies. I get that they've got a lot of ability, but fillies like Full Velocity, if she's 100% fit, bottom end of the weights, she's a year. You've got 3-year-old fillies giving her weights.
Yes.
It's not going to be easy. Thumbs up, love bomb. Don't throw them away, and don't get carried away by the 3-year-old fillies' form.
Right.
A lot of them have got their ratings and have got their form beating each other. Very few of them have been exposed to older horses. I'd go very wide here, and I would not throw away the form of the older fillies.
You see, you know what's happened here? That last start with Big Burn, when Warren, they got away, that's when One Night in Paris got the better of her, remember, at the end. But she got away at the 500. She opened up a big lead. And I suppose the assessment into that is that perhaps she went too quickly, too early, got away, got tired late.
It was
now
slightly
it's back,
sticky as well.
And it was sticky.
Yeah.
Now it's back in the 1200. Maybe he can do the same and try and steal a march if there's such a thing in the 1200 or the 1160 and get away.
But I don't think it's going to happen. She's going to have everyone on her girth down the straight. I mean, you've got 16 runners here.
Right.
Often round the turn they go a little bit slow earlier on, whereas down the straight they're gunning it from the gates.
Right.
They always go a little. If you look at the times, 1200 Turfentine inside track versus 12. Okay, it's 1160, whatever. But I mean, you can see your adjusted variance and what have you.
Yeah.
They always go that little slower earlier on, and then they skip. Whereas from the gates they go. So she's not going to have it all her own way.
Okay. So you're making it open. Darryl, how have you read it?
Clyde, I would have liked the going to be on top for Big Burn. I think then she'd be able to make use of her turn of foot that she possesses. And also at the weights, it's not cut and dry for her. Like Mark's touched on, Full Velocities was the neck behind her. She's 3.5 kilograms better off. Yeah. So you can't discount her chances. But one filly I was really impressed with her comeback run was that of Sound of Warning. Yeah. The last time out, she was doing good work late. And I think the step up to the extra furlong will suit her. And, she wasn't really well in on that occasion. The winner was weighted to win. And so I thought she ran a very impressive comeback run. So I'm going to include her into my pick 6. And another one I want to touch on is Samanga Khumalo's mount. Now, she's a 4-year-old, only carrying 52.5. Look at her form line. She's got Comedy she's got Malmoose, Due Diligence. She beat Freed from Desire, who's subsequently come out and won 2 in a row. She's got 52.5 to shoulder. She shows a lot of pace. If the others are coming up for air, she could be the upset material in the race. So I've opted to go a little bit wider in the first leg of the pick 6.
Okay. Well, that's not good news for many because I'm worried about the next leg on the, as far as the pick 6 is concerned, race number 5 on the card now. And when I have a look at that, this is the merchants over the 1160 meters, and you've got to ask yourself the question: what do you end up going for in a race like this? And I'm going to bring Daryn back in now. Daryn, let's bring you in, and you can sort of give us an open or a lead as to how you see what does appear to be an open race, or perhaps not in your case.
I do believe it's a wide open race. You've got to go as many as possible. My first choice is Bathorse. Reason why he's drawn hard up on the stand side, drawn 16. He runs with good pace, and then he finds another gear at the 400 again. So I think the softer conditions will suit him. Drawn right on the outside of the track. He'll probably be the horse to pass going through the 400. Horses like MK's Pride, he comes into the race with a big chance, but he is drawn 1. That is a slight disadvantage. And another horse to consider is the 3-year-old Elysian Chief. He comes into the race with 52 kilos, drawn well. It is his first try over the 1200 or 1160 meter trip, but the way he extended from them last time late suggests that maybe the 1160 won't be too far. And if he does get the trip, I think he's a massive runner. Other horses to consider, a horse like Tempting Fate. Now, his last 2 starts were around the bend at Gravel, and he seemed to over-race. He didn't take the bend well. He's a much better horse up the straight, and I think that he can return to best form here, Tempting Fate. I've thrown in Ultra Magnus. He came up last year and he won this race. He's also drawn 15, which is in his favor, and he's got solid form behind his name. Other horses to consider in the race that I've thrown in, not many more. I think that's the lot that I've thrown in. I've thrown in Winter Stories. His last win, it was against Weaker in a Progress, but on his best form since relocating to the Paul Peter stable, he's had the 1 run, he won well, and he's also drawn towards the stand side of the track, so he could cause an upset around 25 to 1.
All right, so the market shows 4 to 1 the field, 4 MK's Pride 4 to 1, 2 Battle Force 5 to 1, Pearl of Asia the 1 7 to 1, 5 Ultra Magnus 8 to 1, 13 Elysian Chief, a little bit of money for that 9 to 1, and then 10 to 1 and better about the others. Let me bring you in, Darryl, and from the outset it does look to be open. Battle Force may be the one to beat, but open. What's your value?
Now, Clyde, I think you want to be drawn high over here. The pace is certainly up on the outside with Sing for Rafa, Elysian Chief, and Battle Force. So for that reason, I like the look of Ultra Magnus. Now, he's a big, strong, strapping son of Oratorio, and he's only been to the Highfield twice before. He ran 4th in the Merchants 2019. He won it last year, and I was really impressed with his comeback run, his prep run last time out over a distance too short for his best. So I see the race paying out nicely on the outside. I think he'll be finishing hard. He's certainly one for the shortlist. I would have loved to see MK's Pride drawn higher. Major concern that 1 draw. I don't think there's much pace down the inside. He's going to have to do it the hard way. But wouldn't you love to own a horse like him? I mean,
yeah,
Paul Peters really kept him on the boil. He's always gives his heart out. So he should be there when the chips are down. And another one I want to touch on, Clyde, is Bartholdi. Now just have a look at his replay last time out. He was really closing hand over fist in the finish, at the finish. And he meets Battle Force 3.5 kilograms better off.
Yeah.
I'm sure Marco got off last time he's out and said, you know what, this horse might be even better with a set of blinkers. So they put the blinkers on for the first time. He's got a postage stamp weight to carry. He's going to strip much fitter. I think he's the upset material in the race. So I'm going to tip in a very tricky race. I'm going to go Ultra Magnus as my insure bet with Betway. I think he'll be in the money.
What price will that be? Ultra Magnus is 8 to 1.
Yeah.
So insure bet, what will we get? 6 to 1.
6 to 1.
So now the insure bet, so that you know, you can take 6 to 1 the insure bet instead of taking the 8 to 1. And if Ultra Magnus runs 2nd or 3rd, you get your money back.
It might even be fourth because there's.
Might even be fourth.
Yeah,
So
to
that's
see what
this new bet that Betway have got called the Insure Bet. So instead of taking the original mark, you take 8 to 1 the original price. You don't have to. You can take 5 to 1 the Insure Bet. And if it doesn't win, it happens to run second, third, or fourth. You lose nothing.
Great innovative bet, that's for sure. And we're all happy to take less odds and just give you, like you're taking a bit of insurance.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Mark, have you looked at, have you made an opinion?
I look at Bartholdi at 14 to 1 and Battleforce at 5 to 1. I mean,
Doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense to me. I thought that horse was usually impressive last time, Bartholdi. It is an open field, that's for sure, an open race. They've gone for the blinkers. I thought he did enough last time, not to warrant sort of any gear changes. But Mark and Adam know what they're doing. I think this horse, he looked superb last time, and they're great trainers of sprinters. And not only there was a 3.5 kilos, but this horse has beaten Battle Force if you go back in the early form at
the
level
maidens,
weight. So he must be a massive runner. He looks like he's coming into form, big time.
And he's
like
a big
he's a
price,
4-year-old with 52 on his back. The problem is there might be a lot of horses in front of him getting through. I think maybe that's why they put the blinkers on last time. Was maybe they thought he got a little too far back or whatever, because he finished it off very, very well.
Yeah.
But you'd want to ride him the same way almost, and traffic might just be an issue with him. But he's a proper horse, this, and there's some good. I know Tempting Fate as well, another horse that's had a huge reputation for a long time. I think Den's found 1 or 2 issues with him. Hopefully sorted them out. He could be a big runner. He's always had he is a Group 1 winner.
Where is he? Is he at FNT now? Do you know? Tempting Fate? No.
I'm sure he'll be travelling up probably tomorrow or whatever.
Okay.
Pearl of Asia, don't throw him away. I know he's right at the top end of the weights, but the horse was doing low flying last time when he finished off the race. And he always tends to get too far back at Greyville. He might be a little closer down the straight.
Yeah.
Just a couple of horses to consider.
So there's a few. Samanga, do you have a view?
Obviously,
I know you haven't got a ride, or you haven't. I had a look to see if you've been part of any other horse in this race that you've ever ridden, perhaps before. I can't seem to find one.
Obviously, what happened was I was supposed to ride Vasim. Obviously, with
Vasim,
with a bit of traveling and all that, I just didn't get to make it. But I was also offered to ride Elysian Chief also, but just the weight, to drop to that weight, and it's a big day, just don't want that.
What's your bottom ride? What's your riding weight now, Samanga?
My riding weight is 53.5, but obviously with a bit of dieting, we can get the 52 if it's a proper ride. But
right.
So I had the 2 rides, and obviously I did head also to try and get to ride MK's Pride, but obviously Warren has got a contract with the Paul Peters, so there's so a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
I really like Battle Force, Group 1 winner. Obviously, he hasn't put a foot wrong.
Yes.
MK's Pride, coming back to 1160. I've sat on him, and I promise you that last, I think when we were beaten by Pearl of Asia, he gave everything, and he put his head onto the line, hit the line strong. We just found one bet on a day. And, I really also think Bartholdi, I've won 2 of his 3, and he had his issues, but I'm just happy that he's come back to form, because I did kind of like him. Obviously, Mr. Gardner asked me before what you think of him, and I said he's a nice horse. So if he doesn't progress, you get to question yourself too. So I think that last run, I've been asking for blinkers. I think when he ran over that the 1450, and I don't know, maybe it was too soon, so they decided not to put the blinkers on. But he's a type of horse, when he's following them, he gets lost, and you try and work with him, and he's a big boy, he knows what it's all about, but he's not there yet. And then I think that last 150, everything just clicks, and he comes together, but it's too late, so I think the blinkers will do the trick. 52 on his back, as Mr. Kock said, he's beaten Battle Force before, so getting that weight, I think is the type of horse we have to add him in. So I'll go with those as 4.
Okay, well, and there's some good value to be had about that. Let's take us to the Dingons now and have a look at the market where Pyromaniac is top of the boards at 3-1. There's been money for that. 2 Safe Passages 7-2, 4 Castletown 7-2. Aragosta, interesting runner. We'll find out from Mike now about that. 5-1. 3 Super Excited 6-1, and number 7 Little Prince is at 7-1. They're betting 12s and better the others. I'll start with Daryn. Just to ask Samanga, are you travelling every day now? Are you going championship? Is that the mission? Are you going for the title, or is there other?
I've been asked that question before, but when I look back,
why are you travelling all of a sudden every day?
I'm enjoying racing.
Warren was suspended, wasn't he?
Warren was suspended, but also I'm just enjoying racing, and I had a couple of offers. Justin Snake, also Richard wasn't well, so if
have you got the job there now?
No, not really. The guy is not well, so I had to go and fill in. No, Richard. So I had to go and fill in, and
Justin doesn't watch Wait to Win. He won't see this.
So no, it's wherever they ask me, I'll try my best to go and fulfill the.
Well, I'm happy to see that you've reinvented.
The spark's back.
The spark is back. The spirit is back. The great Samanga Khumalo, they're hard to beat, eh?
No, thank you so much.
You get that back.
Samanga, the back salute. Don't you get a fine for the back salute?
He drops his whip.
No, obviously I'm still in a jockey,
what happened with the drop in the whip, man?
It was raining and it got caught on my boot. It's racing. How many guys drop sticks? It happens.
James Goodman just phoning to see something wrong with your hand or
something wrong with his nose.
Okay, Daryn, we need the winner of the Dingons. What's the deal?
Well, I like the 1, 2, 4, and 5. I think it is between those 4 horses. It's not the strongest renewal of the Dingons, but I'm leaning towards Castletown. Now, this horse has been crying out for this type of ground, the mile trip, even further in time to come. His first comeback run wasn't a bad run, but he was a bit one-paced. And we saw Stuart Pettigrew bring that filly, Follow Me, out first time and ran a bit flat. And then they put the blinkers on over the mile and she won a good race. They're going the same route with Castletown. The blinkers are going to sharpen him up from a good draw so he can position himself into a decent position. And I think he's got a bit of quality about him, this horse. He showed it in Durban in only his second start, when still very immature. So I do think over the mile trip, I think it's going to suit him down to the ground. Horses like Pyromaniac, it's difficult to say. On pedigree, the mile should suit. But he shows a lot of pace as well. His comeback run, he came from a long way back to run second, a clear second behind Desert Miracle. But he has a 10 draw to contend with. So he's just going to have to slot in off the pace and hopefully run on. The 2 de Kock runners, Safe Passage and Aragosta. I believe that they're going to be more Derby-type horses in time to come. I do believe that they're looking for 2,000 meters, but they look like top quality horses. And Safe Passage, he has won over the mile twice. And if there's a decent pace on, he'll be staying on really nicely. Aragosta's only had the 1 comeback run since May. He won a cracking race. He does jump in class, but he does look like he has a lot of ability. So my selections 4 to beat, 2, 1, and 5.
Okay, let's bring Mark straight into that. I mean, Daryn alluded to maybe Safe Passage and Aragosta in time are Derby horses, but no surprise to see either of them win the Dingons on Saturday.
No, it wouldn't be a surprise, but again, I think what may tell at the end is speed. Both of them, the absolute minimum trip is a mile, and it wouldn't be anywhere near their best trip. And you can see that with the form, so you don't need a genius to work it out. But it isn't a vintage renewal of the Dingons. It's a little disappointing. In fact, if I think what we got the highest rated horse, 106, and he got his rating for losing.
Yeah.
For running second. He turned for home. I think at the 400 he was possibly a length behind Castleton and beat him 3 lengths. So Castleton's going to have improved a lot in the blinkers to turn the tables on Pyromaniac, and he was running home pretty well, and he's definitely bred for the. But I think the key thing, the whole thing is going to be speed in the race. So they're going to hack around. Anything can win it. I suppose one's going to put stamina into play, And with these horses like mine, certainly that stay, we'll make sure that the rest
know all about it.
Do stay, yeah. I was quite impressed with Paul Peters' horse, Ocean Warrior. I know he's only a one-time winner, but he's only had 2 starts for him. He won 1 by 8 and was poorly handicapped. For that, they made him a 92, and he gave Bureau de Legend, winning her 3rd race, 3 kilos last time. That's not bad form. And he's drawn 2, so don't leave it. Look, I know, I mean, the last 3 fields we've been looking at are all wide open, but this for me is almost a field
race. Okay. How good is Aragosta, Mark?
He's a nice horse, but he's going to be more comfortable in the Derby. He's out of a Galileo mare. There's plenty of stamina. He's a big, long-striding horse. Doesn't give away a massive amount at home. Still a little bit immature. He's drawn 11 as well, not ideal. The other horse may have a touch more speed than him, Safe Passage. And he's drawn well. Some uncles are not going to let that draw go to waste. So there's not a lot of, Castletown drawn 3 might actually go off to the front first time blinkers. And if he does, he's not going to go quick.
Yeah, sedate gallop. And that'll leave you with what, Samanga, with Safe Passage? I mean, you just ride him as you find him, I suppose.
Obviously, we've touched on some nice horses, but I think we're going out there confidently and, to be safe. Yeah, I am. I'm next to Mr. De Kock, so I think you can take a safe bet on Safe Passage, and I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Is that so? Well, there you go. We've got the winner of the Dingons. Safe Passage, put the money down, boys.
Ask him when he worked it.
When did you work it? Not when you were in Cape Town.
No, I was flying up and down. So.
Darryl, how do you summarise?
I don't see it the way Samanga sees it. I'm going with a handicap over here, Clyde. Obviously, Pyromaniac's the best weighted over here. He's 6 pounds ahead of Super Excited and Safe Passage. In saying that, they are young, up and coming 3-year-olds, so you can't read too much into the rating. But I thought he finished his race off really well last time out. And he's Bar Silvano out of an Oaks winning mare. So I think he's even going to be more effective over this trip. I don't think they want to change tactics. I think from that draw, they're still going to give him a chance. And he's going to be running on hard at them at the finish. I think because he's the best weighted, I've taken a chance in opting to bank him in the pick 6.
Have you?
Because like Mark said, it could be a field race. The budget doesn't allow it. My pick 6 is already costly. So
you're banking
I'm banking Pyromancer.
Well, Mark's picked up an interesting horse in Ocean Warrior. That's any price, eh? Okay, so Banker Pyro for Darryl. Let's go on to the Epitombi Challenge, one of Mike de Kock's favourite horses. And the running of the 7th race on the card, where Rain in Holland is 17-10. That's the current favourite, number 8 on the card. 9 Perfect Witnesses, 3-1. 3 Bold Fortune, 9-2. And 10 Clafouti, 6-1. And then 8-1 and better about the others. And again, I'll go straight to Daryn from Cape Town to give us his view on how he sees the running of the Epitombi Challenge on Saturday.
Well, I made the race between the 3-year-olds. Rain in Holland is going to appreciate the mile trip. She always seems to come under pressure early up the straight, and then she just finds another gear and another gear as the race goes on. So if there's a decent pace on, she's going to be running on really strongly. Perfect Witness really appreciated the stand-side track last time. She won a good race, beating not a bad filly, Miss Elegance, by 3 lengths. She comes into the race with a big chance. And Clafouti, I thought her last run was all wrong. She was tailed off at the back of the field. She just never really got into the race. So it'll be interesting to see what Mike says about her. But I do believe that Clafouti has a bit of class about her. And even though she's not very well in at the weight of a 92 rating, I think she's better than rated. So she's one for the shortlist. I've thrown in 2 older horses into the pick 6. A horse like Mount Laurel, rating from Durban. On her best form, I mean, she placed in the Garden Province a length off Serena. She was a length off War of Athena and Princess Kala in that race. So at her best, she can feature. And then Bold Fortune, who seems to be improving with each and every start again. I've thrown her in, but I do side with the 3-year-olds, the 8, 9, and 10.
Mark, to ask you about Clafuti, I mean, Darren's suggesting that maybe her last start was all wrong. Perhaps that's the first question. And to compare her to a horse like Mark's Chick, how do you rate the two?
I rate them both, and I think last time what happened is we got the tactics wrong. Seister was on Monashado, was supposed to make the pace, but he was namming in the gates, and then sat 3 wide and forgot he had to make the pace. So maybe I had to remind him as he left the gates. You know what I mean? One of those things in the ear for some of these oaks at right. But anyway,
well, no, hold on with the new digital thing coming out with our new racing. We're going to trainers will be talking to jocks in the race.
To communicate.
Yes, like in the rugby, the referee into the coach.
We can blast him at the top of the stage.
It's coming.
Did you remind him after the race that he was meant to make it?
You know what? So might as well talk to the wall. So at the end of the day, it was, you know, Gavin was waiting for there to be a fast pace, sitting, and you know that's what we wanted to do. Net result is he took a pull on her, sat at the back of the field, fought all the way, and you know, and they went a very slow pace. Pettigrew's filly went to the front, slow pace. You'll see all of them. Maree Gauteng, everything were doing their best work late.
Yes,
but it was just a slow run race and cleverly ridden up front. So ignore the run, in my opinion. But I really think the 3-year-old fillies are nice. I think Candace's filly is a really nice filly. And the run to Mark's Chick's a good run.
Yeah.
She wants the strip, even the run to Big Burn. Never mind, she got beaten 5 lengths. It was too short for her. Turf 18, needed inside, needed the run. The older fillies are not, you know, they're not exciting. They're not top sort of Group 1 sorts, in my opinion. I don't know, it might be wrong. Whereas I think the young fillies have the potential to be Group 2 and even Group 1 fillies. Well, certainly Rainy Nolan is a Group 1 filly. So, at the end of the day, I think she ran a cracker behind Warwathina, albeit she got a lot of weight from her, but she did kick on very, very well. Mile Turfentine, not going to worry her at all. Probably what beats her will win. But I'm going to side with the younger fillies here.
Okay, Samanga, what's your take?
Obviously, as we know, Reading Holland Group 1 winner. But I think also the older horses, we can't just throw a blind eye on them. They've been there through the hard season and like the rainy season still. And, you know, they've never, like horses like Now You See Me, I think she's definitely got a lot of potential. And for me, I've sat on there and Galloper, if it's wet, and the young horses, they put their foot wrong, she's going to gallop right through. And I really believe that they'll have to, like, really pick up their legs to come to her. She's a fit filly. I think she got three runs within. Also, that last winner with me, I didn't even move the last bridge. You know, she just destroyed them. So the rest, you know what? I'm looking, but I'll just go with the 2, the 7, 8, and then obviously the 10.
You're riding a horse called Rouge Allure. Have you seen this Rouge Allure number 4? I don't know if you guys you probably have noticed it, but how would you like to own a horse like this? She's run I can't see anymore. My eye.
87.
87 times she's run. How many wins?
12.
12 wins, 12 seconds, 8 thirds, 10 fourths. I mean, how's that, Mark?
Yeah, and a lot of it sort of, he's actually done a very good job in placing her, Stephen.
Yes.
You know, she's won a lot of those sort of conditions races, handicaps, but, you know, at feature level, always just sort of been short of it.
No, the point I'm making about it as an owner, imagine being that. How's that to be a part of it?
And you know you're going to go to the course, and one thing you do know,
get the money.
Is she's going to try her best.
Correct.
So, yeah, she's been an absolute pleasure to own.
Well, the horse we own can't get out the gate. Tell us, Darryl, now, what about you? What's the story with your take-up here?
Clyde, I think it's the 3-3-year-olds versus Bold Fortune. A Bold Fortune in her last start in the Yellowwood, she never moved. She was never in doubt. She really won with authority on that occasion. She's just as effective over a mile, so you can't discount her chances. But the 3-year-olds do look the live wires over here. I was super impressed with Perfect Witness last time out. We had always been saying we're waiting for this filly to get to the stand-side track. She's got 2 kilograms in her favor over Reigning Holland. And there's one thing for sure, is with 53 to shoulder, she's going to go forward. And you know she's a galloper. They're going to have to come fetch her over that last furlong.
We labelled her the last time, remember?
Yeah. She's a different
filly
on the stand-side track.
Has it not come too soon? I'm worried. Has it not come too soon?
What's in her favor? She's super, super fit. She's on the upgrade. And she looks like she's got a bright future. But you know, this filly, Reigning Holland, she was put in her place by War of Athena last time. She was receiving a lot of weight. But she was, in her favor, she was doing her best work late.
Yeah.
And back in her mile, she's got a lot of ability. So I think between Reigning Holland and Perfect Witnesses, those are the two that you have to focus on. Klafuti's run was all run last time out. She's got ability. If she gets into the race early, she could be there. And then Bold Fortune. So the 3-3-year-olds with Bold Fortune, it's going to be a lovely race just to watch from the outside.
The World Sports Betting presents the Gauteng Summer Cup. Comes up now. Race number 8 on the card, and the off time is at 25 to 4 o'clock. The latest on the market is the War of Athena. They haven't stopped coming for her. More and more and more money for War of Athena. She's into 5 to 2. 2 Malmoose is 7 to 2. 1 Got the Green Light is 9 to 2. Number 6 Second Base 9 to 1. And number 18 Al Mutana is at 10 to 1. They bet 14 to 1. And better about the others. Daryn, War of Athena, the money, they're putting buckets and buckets of money on her. Do you agree?
I do agree, Clyde. She's done absolutely nothing wrong. And you know, Summer Pudding went the similar route last year and winning the Triple Tiara, having 1 comeback run, winning well, and then winning the Summer Cup from a 20 draw. I would say last year's renewal wasn't as strong as this year's. War of Athena I've got healthy respect for Malmoose and Got the Green Light. But War of Athena, very good comeback win. I would have liked her to have 1 more run before the Summer Cup. But yeah, she should have freshened up nicely again. And the 2,000 meter trip, I think, is actually her best trip. I think the mile, she gets away with it. Just a class and a turn of foot. But the 2,000 from a 5 draws, she can slot in a couple of lengths off the lead, and she's got amazing acceleration and a big heart. So she's the horse to beat. Malmoose, you can put a line right through his last start. I wouldn't say it was a bad ride, but he got caught 4 deep around the bend. And from there, I'm surprised he actually only ran 5 lengths off the lead, the winner that day. I think he's a much better horse. Mike's going to have him in top condition for this race. He's drawn 1. He can pace himself just off the lead where he likes to be, and he'll give War of Athena a big run for her money. A horse like Got the Green Light, I've thrown into the pick 6. His last run was a bit disappointing. You know, he's normally got an amazing turn of foot, and he never really got into the race. But you can't ignore him. He comes into the race with 60 kilos and a 10 draw. If he bounces back to best, he'll give a good account of himself. I don't see much else getting into the race. I've tried to find some value in the race for trifectas and quartets, and there's not much else to talk about. A horse like Bengwa, you know, he's 3.5 kilos worse off with Malmoose, and I think Malmoose would have just about won that race had he been positioned better last time out.
Yeah, you look at the On a Mission mile form, there was a sedate gallop, people complained about the pace, etc., and so it worked out accordingly. Mark, you've said that perhaps not the best of rides, etc., and maybe ignore the run, but we know how good Malmoose is, and it's good to see a fella like him taking on War of Athena, and it's going to turn out to be a very exciting race to see the one crown take on the other.
Yeah, I think the way the weights are structured now has obviously facilitated that to happen.
So this is now, just to explain, you've now compressed the weights, right?
Yeah, there's 6 as opposed to 8 kilos.
As opposed to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, look at the end of the day, Gavin will by his own admission didn't ride a good race last time. The horse needed the run, and having to do that much more, you know, as Daryn said, I'm surprised he didn't compound and run even further back. But that, be that as it may, he's definitely come on with that. The one draw for him is very important because he's a horse that likes to lug in for whatever reason. And so if he can hug the rail the whole way home, it can make a big difference to him. He has got a long season ahead of him. I would love another run under the belt, I'm sure. It just didn't happen, and here we are. His weight's come down really nicely for the race. He's at a weight that I like, and yeah, look, I still think War of Athena. You know, he comes back and he gets well beaten in his prep run. She comes back and wins. That would suggest that she was probably in a pretty good vein of form because she gave away a lot of weight.
Some said she was. When we watched her come back, she was still burly. Seemed like she was carrying maybe an extra 5 or 10 kilos in condition.
So what? You know about carrying a few kilos
I
extra.
know. Tell me about it. You don't have to tell me about carrying
she
weight.
She won well.
But I feel the pressure when I carry the weight. Don't worry about that.
She must have grown. Therefore, that would suggest she's improved this filly, which is a big thing. Bingwa's got a little. He's got a turnaround of the weights with Malmus on a few runs, but I think Bingwa was super fit last time and well prepared for the race. There's a few that are going to improve on that form. There's no doubt in my mind. But as I said, the weights definitely favour all of these horses that are in at the handicap. I think there's the top 7 that are in, top 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, at the bottom, a lot of these horses are going to have to show massive improvement on their form to come and beat those top weights.
Yeah.
Because they've 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kilos under pressure.
Correct.
There's a lot of horses in here as well that I think, quite honestly, are just going to get in the way. But I've got a feeling that the cream is going to rise here.
So anything from Porto Manzano onwards is under sufferance, right?
Yeah. You know, you can see by this the race rating. I mean, the punters will know about race rating. So so 126 is your benchmark if you want. So anything under 126 is under pressure, and every pound they're under is the pound they're under pressure.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
And we're talking about a handicap here where they're all very well exposed. So it's not like we're going to find something improving 20 pounds or 10 pounds from nowhere. Obviously, softish ground will make some of them run a little better for sure.
And Michael, Sparkling Water and Al Mutana, I mean, to summarise them,
Sparkling Water's under pressure with just horses like Golden Pheasant and the other one she short-headed. Asterix.
Yeah.
Last time. We could say that this is her peak run. 2000 is definitely better for her. 24 is even better for her. I don't think she's getting enough weight from War of Athena ever to turn the form around. Because when War of Athena beat her, she went past her like she was looking for parking.
Yeah.
She's, maybe a nice place bet because this is her peak run. But she's under pressure to turn a few form lines around. Okay. The other horse, Samanga's riding. I was slightly disappointed last time, but he's in a good space. He's got a lot of work to do at the weights. He's not really Malmus's division. I don't think he's getting enough weight to turn it on him. And he's going to have to ride him for luck, Samanga. Ride a clever race. He did do his best work at the end last time, and he'll probably be doing. He'll be kicking on late this time too. He's got to get the trip. He's not 100% bred for it to get the trip.
He's not?
No.
Samanga, so, I mean, you take us through the paces the last start. I mean, what did you make of it?
A top run, Clyde. Obviously, you look at the two races that I won on him, obviously partnering with him for the first time. We came from the back and just had to get him to get that confidence and just start to unwind, and he done his best right to the end. And then the next start also, the pace was hot, and he never panicked, and I also still just ride him with the hands.
When he won at the Val that day.
Yes, and he just won very, very well. We're in a point where you say to yourself, is there more, So that last run, he did hit the line strong, and he was doing his best to the end. And I just feel, obviously, the 2000 was just, obviously, He'll be there in the first half, definitely, because I really believe in him. And also, you just need to gather him together, give him a lot of confidence. So we'll try and ride a clever race then.
What's your first choice, Samanga, in the Summer Cup?
You know,
What's your first, if there was one you wanted to ride?
I've had the chance to sit on 3 nice horses in this race. One I sat at the track, Malmoos. And
at the track, how's he doing? Tell us now. Don't worry about Mark. He's here with us. What's
you
your
know,
story?
Obviously,
inside graft at the track.
I really thought he's something, because he does just how much of you ask of him, and it's just amazing that you can have a horse in that like he switches off, and at about the top of the straight, when you ask him, he's there. 200 is still there. And it's just a matter of the companion if he's going to stick with him. But it's just amazing. And obviously, War of Athena, I have partnered with her before, where I've done quite well with her. And putting them together, I think Malmoos is just slightly a better horse. And having said that, the third horse has got the green light. You know, this horse here, you can't put a blind eye on him. The 1450 that he ran at Tefferton inside track, you watch that rerun, and he just needed it, but he was doing his best to the end. And having said that, Bernard knows him very well, and I really think he loves this course and distance. And for me, I'll go for those 3 horses if I have to. Yeah.
No surprise to see Got the Green Light win the Summer Cup on Saturday. Is a superb racehorse, champion 2-year-old, champion 3-year-old, and so on. Darryl, what's your summary of the?
I think the sting out the ground will definitely suit Got the Green Light. Yeah, Clyde, I don't see much pace in the race. I see 3 runners going forward: Golden Pheasant, Majestic Mozart, and Asterix. But I don't see a breakneck pace up front, which will allow Bingwa to get over. And you know, since returning from his rest, he's put in 3 cracking efforts. MK's Pride on the inside track of a 1450 is a very, very hard horse to beat. That's his best course in distance. And he ran right alongside him on both of those occasions. Then last time out, he certainly wasn't stopping at the finish. I know he's got a lot to do at the weight turnaround, but you won't be surprised to see him thereabouts, certainly in the trifecta.
Yeah, you're not the first one to tell me about Bingwa, and that last win wasn't a fluke win, so to speak, and that he could win the Summer Cup. So I don't know. What else are we going to do?
Yeah. Malmoos, considering the circumstances, he did well to finish 5 lengths off last time out. And, you know, he's going to be there for nothing, Clyde. I think he's an easy horse to place. He's going to have the run of the race. And I think that run would have brought him on leaps and bounds. He's certainly the horse to beat. But if you like his chances, you certainly have to give a horse like Second Base a chance. Because he's had a nice quiet prep. And just go back in his form lines. He's got a lot of weight in his favor on this time around. I know he's got a tricky draw to contend with, but if he doesn't find himself with too much to do turning for home, I think he could be the one to include in your trifectas and quartets. But I certainly believe Malmoos is the one to beat. Bingwa and Second Base are my exact horses.
The 2, 4, 6.
And I must mention one thing, Clyde. I believe the dogs are barking with Shango. So I was
Shango?
told, yeah. I've been told this horse is popping out of his skin. He's the best they've ever had him. So if you're looking for a roughie in your quartets, throw in number 7, Shango.
Betway, what price Shango?
Touching on Betway. Betway under anti-post, Clyde.
Yeah.
There's some specials that we have to mention.
There's 20 to 1 Shango, yeah.
So Mark the Kock to win the Summer Cup. I think you can
What
get
price?
22 to 10 Mark the Cock to win the Summer Cup.
No matter what horse.
And
Mark
then
the
they've
Cock,
got-
22 to 10, yes.
And then Al Mutana is trading at about 18 to 10 to finish in the top 4 on other websites. Betway is offering 5 to 2. Al Mutana top 4. That's under the anti-post markets.
Okay. The final leg of the pick 6. Let's go there because we need to catch this pick 6. There's 12 million rand in the pot, guys. And this is, some say, the most difficult on the card, where they bet 4 to 1 the field in this listed 3,200 meter race. Number 6, Smoking Hots, 4 to 1. 3 Marching On Together, 9 to 2. 10 Baracas, 11 to 2. And then 6 to 1 and better about the others. And I think Samanga holds the key, but I'm going to come to him in a minute. Daryn, how do we Tell us you got a sneaker in the pack for the last leg of the pick six.
Well, I've gone the field in the pick six to be safe. If I get through to the fifth leg, I want to go field. But to narrow the race down, my first choice is Marching On Together. You know, at once upon a time, he was a 116 merit rating. He's down to a 101 from a 1 draw. He's had the 3 runs in the high fault. He won his first start there over a mile, which was an impressive win. And his last start behind Shangani was a decent enough effort. He came up on the inside running rail, and he stays all day. So with 56 kilos, I think Marching On Together is probably the class horse in the race. A horse like Smoking Hot, a couple of runs back, she ran half a length behind Don't Look Back. There was an objection that day. That was over the 3,200 meter trip. And I think she's about 2.5 kilos better off with Don't Look Back on that effort. So she's definitely one for the short list. I've thrown in Don't Look Back as well. He stays well. He's had the 2 runs back over a bit shorter. Another one to consider that isn't very well in or well handicapped, but I wouldn't look too much into that, is a horse like Barak. He stays all day. I think he's going to relish this type of trip. And with 52 kilos on his back, I think he comes into the race with a big, big chance.
Okay, so you're going Marching On Together, but look out for Smoking Hot and obviously Barak. Samanga, I like Don't Look Back. I'll give him a chance in the race. I know that Gavin obviously rode Marching On Together last time out, but I saw your ride with him on Don't Look Back last time, and I just, listen, he's been around, he's done his thing. You know, when you look through the binoculars, you see something that a lot of people don't see. And I like him as a sneaker on Saturday.
Yeah, Clyde, he should be there. He's done the trip and he's done it quite impressively times before. And we took our chances, took him to Durban, but I think that traveling, taking him back there because that's where he came from, you know, and he started his blossoming here in Joburg where he was starting to clean up. And then obviously Mr. Gray felt that he might take him to Durban. But, you know, coming back, he wasn't himself, and I think that last run, there was something there, but I came back, I told Mr. Gray, he said, listen, this horse has picked up a little bit of weight, and he's only getting cut down now, and marching on together, and this horse, he definitely choose Don't Look Back. So that's what he told me before the race.
Okay, well, there you go.
So I really
think we're on the right one.
Yeah, I really think he's a true stayer, but obviously we have to still respect out of your league, and you know, he's won this race before, and having said that, you know, Raymond is back on him, and I think they have something special together. So, you know, I'll be giving my best. I know his trick, the Don't Look Back's tricks, and obviously it's at Tenos Field, and we'll try and squeeze him in there. So
I think we're going to take the 10-1 Don't Look Back, boys, on Betway. Listen to me. Unless Mark, what about Barak?
10 pounds out of the weights. He's honest. It's going to be very tough for him to win. He's got to have to raise his game, although he's got some fair form to Shanghai. Don't Look Back is one of the few horses that have won over the trip in the race.
Yeah.
I think he's got very good. He's had 2 starts over 3-2 and won both, I think. Darryl's the form man. So, you know, I wouldn't leave him out of the Barak. I wouldn't leave him out of a big perm. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to raise his game in a big fashion. Smoking Hot's the handicap to win in the race, the tune of £2. But St. John's 2 horse, and I prefer the one that Samanga's on. 3rd run after arrest, form over the trip. It's going to be a sticky track. One will run very well in a sticky track before. This is going to be a proper stamina event with this thing out of the ground.
Running final leg of the pick six. Imagine you're running now, paying a couple of million rand. What do you want in the last leg?
I want the biggest roughie because I'm going field. And
are you?
Yeah.
Well, that's lovely. Thanks for your help.
Clyde, I'm worried about Smoking Hot. You know, she has in the past had a tendency to give away starts at the pen. So if she
but is
jumps
that a
on
problem
terms,
over 3-2?
Well, you don't want to get left 4 lengths and having to make it up in the sticky conditions. I like the look of a roughie over here. I know he's not one to rely on, and that's number 2, Imperial Ruby. He's actually won the Gold Bowl in the past. So he definitely gets the trip. He's won in the sticky conditions. I see they've opted to take the blinkers off, and I'll certainly be giving him a go if I'm running into the last leg of the pick 6. But yeah, it's a very open race.
So that's any price.
You want to have
competitive,
as many as possible.
He's not even on the boards.
Yeah.
All right, what does that mean? That takes us to the. Let's take me to the screen. Daryn, I don't know if you can see the screen from your side, but you want to take us through your buy pot and pick 6 and best bets and value bet, and your insure bet. Is Daryn with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I can't see anything.
Okay, I'll call it quickly for you. The bar pot Daryn has gone. Guys, if you want to write it down, I don't know, but here it is. Daryn's bar pot is first leg 145 by banker 6, by banker 7, by 2, 4, 5, 9, 10, 13, by 1, 2, 4, by 8, 9, 10. That's the bar pot for 162 Rand. His pick 6, he's bankering 7 in the first leg, so I think that's big burn, eh? And then he's going 2, 4, 5, 9, 10, 13, by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, by 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, by 1, 2, 3, by field, it's a 540 Rand perm for 10%. His best bet on the card is Sound of Summer. His value bet is Big Burn in the 4th, and his inshore bet is Big Burn. Darryl, you want to take us through your slide?
Yeah, my pick 6 is quite costly, but the pool's massive. They're estimating 12 million Rand, so definitely worth taking a percentage. 375 Rand will get you 10%. My best bet on the card is my pick 6 banker. I had to go light in one leg, and that's Pyromaniac. And my insure bet comes up in the 5th race. I think last year's winner, Ultra Magnus, will give another bold showing, and I think you'll be in the money. So with insure bets, if you run 2nd or 3rd, you get your stake back, which is a pleasure.
Okay, so Pyro is your best bet. The weighted to win professional double, this is Daryn and Darryl's best bet. Sound of Summer in the 3rd into Pyromaniac. You'll get 10 to 1 that double if you take some of that now. Mark de Kock, the 9-time Summer Cup winning trainer's best runner on the day is...
Malmoes.
I don't know. Which one? You tell us.
Let me stick with Malmoes. My 2 maidens have probably got the best chances, but
We're going to talk about.
I'll stick with maiden.
Don't worry,
I'll
we're
stick
coming
with
there.
Malmoes.
We're going to get to that still. Champion jockey Samanga Khumalo's best ride on the day is
Almatana.
Almutana. Beautiful. I'm taking the double Sound of Summer Big Burn. It works out to 12 to 1. That's our Shruti of the play. And don't forget that we'll be in Durban. We come into Durban. Make sure you send your name and number to 0691643272 to be part of all of the wonderful prizes as well when you do join. We look forward to joining you again on Weighted to Win soon. Whilst we discuss that, I just want to ask Mike about Maree at the back in the 10th race just quickly. If we can just talk about that, Michael, and Maree's World. And then we'll talk about Samanga's rule book number 10 as well, just to get some sort of overview on that quickly.
Look, she's got a chance. She should stay the trip. She's consistent.
Owner needs the stakes.
Owner always needs the stakes. Drawn 1, Brian Nyao. Maybe he can do it for us.
And
Might have
Samanga,
to get out of it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. The 10th and out, get out of the last. You're right, Samanga? In the last?
Obviously, looks like he's still young. He comes out slightly sluggish, but what I like, he really picked it up the last, I think the last 400 to finish, and he's done some great coverage. So I think with the draw 2, just sit right behind Brian Yao, and we'll make the magic.
We'll watch him. Mark, the first now, Angel C. Can we open up on the first?
Look, I'm surprised she's still a maiden, but I think she found a half-decent filly last time.
Corey Lenz.
Yes. I think she's too bad, that filly.
It's nice.
Obviously, Joe Black's the horse to beat there, I think.
Belvedere.
Yeah, Belvedere.
So it's a 2-horse race, Angel C. Belvedere, eh?
I think so. I think it's a...
All right, that's the first race. Then the second race, just quickly to ask you, Michael, talk about the horse number 9 on the card. That I see you got Bernard Fade Herb riding him, Abidjan.
He's not bad, yeah. He's gelded. Ran okay last time. The trip should be way better for him. Giant's Causeway, they always like a bit of sting out of the ground. I mean, he's got a chance, put it that way. It's not a, not a heads down bet for sure.
And then if I may just bring you into the third now with Forever Mine, because we haven't spoken about it. It's probably the best race, one of the best races on the card is the third race, when Forever Mine takes on Sound of Summer, in my humble opinion. Just want to get your view on a couple of things, the distance, etc.
He had a little niggle after his last start. Otherwise, he would have taken his place in the Charity Mile. So we sort of leaning towards the heritage with him. He hasn't been the trip before. Should get it on paper, but he's going to be slightly short of his peak fitness. But he's a quality horse. He's a quality horse on his day when all things are equal.
If you're saying he's short the peak of his fitness, then we're going to put the house on Sound of Summer. Are you listening, Mark?
You must know something, brother. Well, I mean,
but you just said he's not 100% fit.
It's the Lebanese network manoeuvring here. They know the graft.
Well, once you tell me the horse is not 100%, I'm going Sound of Summer. Well, that's it. Thank you so much, very much, all of you, for being with us tonight. We really do appreciate it. Waited to Win and the whole team. Thank you, Mark, for your time coming out here.
Pleasure.
The ambassador for Betway. Thank you, Samanga Khumalo. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Go for that trophy. And thank you to Daryn in Cape Town, to Darryl, to all the guys that are here, that are with us here tonight. Thank you very much. Dinner's about to be served. We'll dine with the stars again soon. Thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. All the best.